Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Holt from Exodus and formerly from Slayer, and you're listening to The Razor's Edge.
Hi guys, how's it going? It's Tom from the Razor's Edge Rocks. I'm sat here with Peej from Punk Rock Factory. How's things going, my friend? How you doing?
Very good, thank you, man. Very, very good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm well. No one asks. I'm well, thank you. That really threw me for a second. Then thank you for asking. Also, happy Pancake Day as well.
Do you know what? I've literally just finished one off.
Have you actually?
Banging.
I was going to ask, how do you celebrate the festive season?
So, what's your topping of choice on a pancake, though?
It's got to be Nutella, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm proper old school.
Syrup,
sugar and lemon juice, classic.
So they're there too, but it's got to have Nutella spread all across the top as well. love that sugary high. So first and foremost, how was your pandemic season? I know it's kind of still around, but it's not really around anymore.
Well, do you know what? The pandemic was probably the best thing that ever happened to us.
Everything took off.
Yeah, like everyone was at home, everyone was bored, everyone's kids were doing their head in, and everyone was scrolling through TikTok. Like, so
yeah,
it worked perfectly for us.
Is that how you started out? Was TikTok where you majority put your stuff on for people to find?
Yeah, well, that's where it kicked off. I mean, we've been doing this since about 2014, something like that. I mean, it was just a case of we do it once a week and have a laugh and have a chill with the boys and chuck a track on YouTube, and it'd get about 15 views, and we'd be happy with that. And and then we did a few tracks, and then the pandemic hit, and we put a, because we'd already done Just Can't Wait to Be King at that point.
Yeah.
And we put a short up of that on TikTok, and it got like 1 million views in like 2 days or something.
Yeah.
And we were like, it's all right, isn't it? It's good. It's all right, like. So we figured that we needed to sort of push in on, because we, at that point, none of us had ever used TikTok, because I think TikTok really came into its own during lockdown, right? Because that's when I remember it kind of kicked off. And so we thought, right, let's get on this TikTok hype then. And coupled with the Disney hype, it kind of worked, that Just Can't Wait to Be King did so well. We thought, well, we're going to have to do more Disney stuff. So the plan was to dip in and do a few Disney tracks and put them on TikTok and stuff. And as it does with us, things just kind of, ideas and thoughts kind of snowball, and we ended up going for an album, and we kind of recorded it all remotely through the 2020 pandemic, obviously lockdown and stuff like that. So it was a lot of it was done remotely, and then as they kind of lifted restrictions, I think it was like the August in the 2020, if I remember rightly. They lifted the restrictions a bit, and we managed to get together for a bit to get the album finished, and we managed to. And during the time, I mean, obviously, all bands just ground to a halt during that time. No one could tour, no one could do anything, and I think that's why we managed to land all the guests on it, because everyone was just at home bored. So, Jarrett had already spoken to us from Bowling for Soup, because he just loved what we were doing, and he sort of messaged us before. And so then while he was on the phone, so to speak, we asked him if he fancied jumping on a track, and he was well up for that. And then we had everyone on there. Then it was class.
I bet it was quite surreal in a way as well.
Oh, it really was. It really was. Like some of these bands, like Belvedere and Mest and Bowling for Soup, like they were bands that we kind of grew up with, like early 2000s. The punk scene in the early 2000s. That was all the sort of stuff that we were all listening to, and 10-Foot Pole, and it was wild. It was like it was pretty crazy, to be fair. And then we ended up with Spencer from Ice Nine Kills, who are obviously getting huge now. And we were lucky enough to support them actually a couple of times in Germany in the summer. So we did a couple of shows in Germany with them. It's just been class, man. It's just snowballed to a point that none of us can quite get our head around, you know?
Yeah. It's absolutely, but seriously though, like I wish you every success because you guys deserve it. You're absolutely slaying it at the moment. It's almost like it's like everything you seem to put out. Just everyone's like, yeah, phenomenal, yeah, incredible, yeah, love that too, yeah, and that. They can do no wrong. I have nothing bad about them.
I'll take that, bro. That's class.
But take us back to the beginning then. What actually made you want to be a musician in the first place? Influence from parents?
Do you know what? It's quite funny that there's one point in my childhood that I always go back to. When I was about, what would I have been? I don't know, yeah, real young, 4 or 5. My favorite films of all time was the Back to the Future trilogy.
Yeah,
and still are my favorite films. And that Johnny B. Good scene in Back to the Future 1 just gave me ideas from the age of 5. Like I like it was that scene in that film always made me want to play guitar and be on stage. Like just that. Even if I watch the film now, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, bang it, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Do you know what? I'm awful with movies. I've never seen Back to the Future.
What?
Yeah, you could list. I remember friends of mine back in the day used to list off his movies like, no, Terminator, no, I've seen it now. All the classic Goodfellas, hadn't seen that, but I've seen it now. Like, there's just so many where I'm like, I don't know. I think it's my attention span. TV, no problem.
I'm not a big film fan, man. Like I'm the same. I've got no attention span. Like if a film's more than an hour and a half long, I won't bother. I can't be asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've never watched things like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and stuff because I always got the time. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Especially if you watch back to back and like continuously as well, like over and over again. Crazy.
I can't do that. But yeah, like as a kid, watching things like Back to the Future and stuff, that was class. And Ghostbusters and all those films from back in the day, they were class. But yeah, that scene from Back to the Future is stuck with me for all my life, like all my life. Class.
Incredible. So where did the name come from?
I think Benj came up with it, our bassist. Because in fact, the whole thing came from Benj to start with. He
Okay.
What did he do? None of us were in bands at the time. Me and Cobb, the drummer, we had been working on 1 or 2 little YouTube projects and stuff.
Yeah,
not completely unrelated to Punk Rock Factory, but and then Benj, who was always been in bands with Cobb, back in the day, like he was just chucking together some covers at home, just with like MIDI drums and just chucking some guitars down, and doing random sort of like tracks and punking them up. And he sent them to me and Cobb. And we were like, oh, he's a cool man. And then next thing I know, Cobb's ringing me and saying, do you want to sing on these and we'll make something out of it and we'll make it a bit of a project? I was like, yeah, why not? And then I remember him referring to it as PRF. And I was like, what the hell's PRF? Like, and yeah, it was Punk Rock Factory. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. I kind of get the because it was never meant to be a live band. Like this was never meant to be what it was. It was just going to be a conveyor belt of YouTube videos. Really, that's where the whole sort of factory thing came from. Yeah, it's just turned into this live behemoth. Like,
what a great word! It's mental because obviously cover acts never really. They're around and they tour, they do shows and stuff like covering either a certain artist or band or whatever, or bands will cover songs.
Yeah,
but it's unheard of. It's unknown for an entire band to be based around covers solely, to be as monumental as you guys are. It's incredible, really. I mean,
the only thing that we can liken it to is Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, really.
Yeah,
like it's very similar kind of model. We love the Gimmes. Like they were class. We didn't steal the idea, but it just kind of went that way, But yeah, it is weird because, like you said, you see these bands that are kind of a Green Day tribute band or Fall Out Boy or Chemical Romance tribute band or something, and they just play the songs exactly as they are. They cover them, whereas which is I think where we differ massively. You know, like we don't cover songs, like we rewrite them. Like what? Obviously, everyone knows the words and everyone knows the vocal melody.
Yeah.
But like musically, it's completely different. But what I say is completely different. What we like to do is we like to keep it as true to the original as possible in regards to parts. So, for example, in How Far I'll Go, the Moana track, in the chorus for that, Stead, our guitarist, picked out this little, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was like a flute riff or like a whistle or something like that. And it had this like just kind of little rhythm to it. And he wrote a whole guitar riff around it. And so like he's got if you listen to our version of How Far I'll Go, it's got this constant guitar riff going through it, like this run through it. And it's all come from this one tiny bit that was in the song that nobody probably ever noticed, to be honest. Maybe the original writer would recognize it, but that's about it. Like, but yeah, like we love to do that. We love it to be completely different, but have all these like little elements that are exactly the same or the same but embellished, you know?
Yeah. Forgive me for saying cover art. I do apologize because obviously
no, bro, no, that's fine. I mean, that's essentially what we are. Like we can't hide from that. Like, but yeah, I just think that's what separates us a little bit is like we do, you know, we rewrite the songs as such as opposed to just being a tribute band, I guess, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing I do want to know before we actually get into obviously the brand new album coming out, the sausage obsession. Why?
Just it's, do you know what, that stemmed from, I think it was the second YouTube video we ever put out. It was a cover of it's a Taylor Swift song,
Blank Space.
Blank Space. Yeah, that was it. And when we were recording it, the boys wanted me to put on a stupid voice for the one part, and I looked at him. I was like, "Well, we go in full sausage, are we? Like, as in like silly sausage." And if you watch the YouTube video, I think it's got that cut right at the end of the video of me looking at the boys and going, "What? We go in full sausage, are we?" And it just went from there. Like, because I think I changed the words in it. What's that word? I can't remember what the original is, but I can be a really silly sausage at the weekend. So I ended up changing that, and then all of a sudden we were just dropping. We tried to drop the word sausage into every song after that, and just because we thought it was fucking funny, man, it's just fucking stupid, like, and so I think for quite a few songs we did manage to get it in there.
That's amazing.
And then we kind of gave up on it in the end. It was getting too hard, like. But this kind of sausage theme has just run then, and then we built our studio then, which we then obviously named the Sausage Factory because why wouldn't we?
Well, exactly.
And it's just snowballed. Our crest is the skull and sausages, like, and it's ridiculous, man. Like, and we just love it just because we don't take ourselves too seriously. Like all our artwork is ridiculous. Like, and like the artwork for the new album now, like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's spot on though. It's so
like
great.
Yeah, but like, just what I mean, like we don't want to be this kind of serious band that when every time we have a photo taken, we all give it the
side eye.
We all give it the blue steel. Like, we don't want to do it, man. It's just like we have so much fun doing what we're doing, and it's like that with the live shows as well. Like, you go and see a band, you go see this massive band, you go see Guns N' Roses or whatever, and it's absolutely amazing. But there's that massive divide between the ego of the band and then the adoring fans. Whereas we just want to be the friends with them. Like, we want them to be able to relate to us and just be like, they're wicked, but they're funny, and it's such a laugh. And people genuinely feel like they know us, which is amazing. Like the way that they comment on our stuff, and even the way like people talk to us, and when on like meet and greets before shows with the VIPs and stuff like that. It's just like, people come up to us and there's no ego and there's no stars in their eyes because they just feel like they know us, and it's just because we're so down to earth and we just like to have a laugh. Like,
yeah, it's great though. That's fantastic. So I think that obviously adds to the success of the band as well, because people are like, oh, Porno Factory, see the dicks. No, don't even bother. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that you're so getting involved with everybody and like being mates. Like I saw a video of you yesterday on Instagram where he's like, I've got cheese, and I just like, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. These guys can do no wrong. I can imagine. Have you ever been asked for a rider and gone, yeah, sausages?
Do you know what? We've never asked for sausages on a rider.
Oh,
We are missing a trick there. We are
massively,
you
especially
know
bratwurst.
we got some show. We got Manchester and Nottingham coming up this weekend, so maybe we'll slink a sausage on the rider.
I mean, I don't know what you do with it other than eat it, I suppose. But I don't know, my brain's not working fast enough to think of something. Yeah,
Just brandish it on stage, like.
Oh, that I need to see. I'm actually grabbing this because we got payday coming up, so I'm going to grab some Cardiff tickets.
Oh yeah, class.
Because Junior and Sean Smith as well. Oh my days, like that's unbelievable. Yeah, I'll be all over that. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be wicked, bro.
So how do you decide exactly what you're going to cover? Because obviously you had the Disney album, which just went insanely incredible, and then obviously did like 90s and 2000s TV themes. So how do you go, okay, we're going to do Disney. What should we do next? TV themes? 2000s new metal? How do you decide?
Well, I mean, the Disney thing did what it was what it was. Like, it's obviously there's such a huge fan base for Disney, and Disney fans are diehard, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, Disney fans they absolutely fucking love Disney. Like, but like the Masters of the Universe album was very much a passion project for us, because they were all TV shows that we grew up with in like the 80s and the 90s and stuff. And it was like that recording process for that entire album was just like a trip down memory lane for the four of us. It was so much fun to do things like Bucky O'Hare and stuff. It was like, this is slamming, like this is so banging. And I suppose seeing this was the same as well, where we did like the early 2000s sort of new metal stuff, and like that was music that from our teens, that's kind of music that we grew up on as we were getting into bands and stuff. And we doing something like that was just fun, man. It was cool because I think it was a bit indulgent on our part, just because it was stuff that we loved. But it was fun. But in terms of like, how do we sort of pick? I mean, musicals is one that we've been as an idea we've been throwing around for a couple of years now, and it's always a theme that gets thrown at us on socials as well. So if we ever post, what do you want to hear or whatever, it's all I would say a good 70% of the comments are do something from this musical or something from this musical, so we were like, we got to do musicals at some point. And the music itself for musicals is sick, and do you know what I mean? Like, some of the songs are unbelievable. We're very very analytical. We're with everything, every single aspect. Like, we are very very anal with every single thing we do. Everything's got to be perfect. And when it comes to picking track listings and stuff, it's exactly the same. So we will, for musicals, for example, we'll all sit there and trawl through the internet, finding the top grossing musicals or the most watched or the favorite musicals, and then we'll go to each musical and be like, right, which song from that musical has the most streams on YouTube, or the most plays on Spotify, or or the most awards, or what's the biggest song, and what's the favorite song from this and this and this. And if one song has got 10 million streams on Spotify and one's got 500,000, then we're going to do the one that everyone's listening to, right?
Yeah.
So we are very very analytical with everything. You wouldn't think it. We act like a bunch of dickheads, but behind the scenes, we also are dickheads. But we got our heads screwed on. We know what we're doing. Like,
there's quite a lot, like you say. You can use the oh my god, my brain's gone. The figures and the numbers and whatnot on Spotify and YouTube and everything else. But like, because obviously you did The Greatest Showman back in 2019, I think it was. So obviously you done Rewrite the Stars for the brand new album that's out on Friday, March 31st, by the way, guys.
That's
Make
it.
sure you,
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome. But it's again absolutely fantastic. Like I've never thought I'd ever hear Mamma Mia done in punk rock. I never thought I'd hear You're the One That I Want from Greece done in punk, but it works. Like it's absolutely amazing. I'm actually buzzing for you for people to hear it because are you excited for the release?
Really excited. We've got, do you know what? This album for all four of us, this is the one we're most excited about. Disney was huge and Disney was what kicked everything off for us. But this album, we are buzzing for this album. Like we've worked on this album in a different way than we have done for the last few. The last few, we would lock ourselves in our studio Monday to Friday, every day for X amount of weeks until it's finished. And we would drill and drill and drill and do each other's heads in and be like, try this, try that, do this, do that. Why no? Don't do that. Why don't you try that? Why don't I try this? But it gets a little stressful, especially doing that constantly. So what we did with this one is we went back remote. Cobb would sit at home and he would arrange the track and do MIDI drums on it, so he kind of knew what he was going to be playing. That would get sent over to Stead then, who would sit in his house. He'd bang some basic guitars down and get some structure there. He'd send that over to me. I'd spend a couple of days then chucking some scratch vocals down and working out some harmonies and doing backing vocals and stuff on it. And then we've got the blueprint of what it needs to be. As long as we're all happy, then Cobb does the final drums, Stead does the final guitars, I do the final vocals. And it gave us all so much more time to work on things. Whereas normally, just for example, like if we were all in the studio and I'm doing vocals, I'm in the vocal booth and all the boys are in the room and I'm kind of under the pressure to be like, right, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. Whereas when I'm doing it in my own time, in my own home, I can sit with it and I can be like, right, I'm going to stop for a bit. I can't do this from now. And then I come back to it with a fresh head and I come up with new parts and new harmonies and different types of backing vocals and stuff. And it's just, we're really proud of this album. It's definitely the best to date. Like,
it's great. I mean, you can get, because I think you can get to a point where you get like too overcritical with it. Is that editing it a bit too much, can't you? So I suppose, because obviously you're trying to make these songs work in your style, like, so I can imagine it gets quite, like you say, when you're in the studio and people are there going like, come on, we got time, etc. So being able to do it in your own time is great. But has there ever become a point where it's like, this isn't working,
Always.
or have you had a song where you've gone, it's just we can't make it work?
Always, man. Every album we've done, there's songs left unfinished every time. Like I can't even think of examples off the top of my head, but there's always we leave so much on the cutting room floor, like and you never. I think we always keep the sessions because it's always fun to look back on them and be like, oh shit, remember when we did that? That didn't work, did it? Like we do it quite often. Quite often we'll be in the studio and we'll go through the session and be like, oh shit, remember when we tried doing that? And then we listen to it and we're like, oh god, it's terrible. But like I dare say there will be a point where we probably just release an album of offcuts, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll revisit them and be like, oh, maybe we could actually do something with this, and then we'll release an album of B-sides or something. Do you know what I mean?
We should do it, even if it's just like 30 seconds.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. It will be fun to revisit. It'll just be an album. There'll be some Disney on there. There's some TV stuff. There'll be musical stuff on there. It'll just be a mixed match of stuff that we never finished, and we'll just actually get around to finishing it and see what we make of it.
Well, buzzing. Just going back quickly to Masters of the Universe. How fun was it to play the Power Rangers theme song? Because that looks fun to play.
Class. It's class. We play it live. Every show we play it live, and it's like. We haven't made it very. It's not very punk. It's metal, like.
Yeah. Can you alter it though? Could you really change that song?
I know it's so good. Like
it's it's untouchable almost, that track. It has to be done how it's played, I think.
Yeah, it has. It's very self-indulgent to play. It's great. Like it's really fun.
I mean, you've made it way more upbeat, the drum track and
everything
in it. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Definitely a favorite.
Nice.
But from the new album, obviously checking that out as well. Like, oh, what a night! It's really funny. When I was looking through the track list, I was like, I don't think I know any. But when you hear them, you go,
yeah. Do you know what? It's funny because obviously that's by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
And from the musical Jersey Boys, which is obviously about them. I went to New York last year, and me and my missus watched Jersey Boys in New York.
Oh, nice.
And do you know what? I was sat there. I was like, this is sick. This is great. And I've never been a huge, to be honest, I've never been a huge musical fan. And I was watching Jersey Boys and I was loving it. But as I was going through, I was like, what? They did this song. Oh, and that one. And that one. There was so many songs that was in this musical. I was like, well, Frankie Valli did all these songs. Like, it's amazing.
It's incredible. It's like you hear adverts as well. You get from adverts, you go, oh, that's great. And you're like, oh my God, that track. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Excuse me, do apologise.
Right.
I've literally just got back from New York. I got back on Saturday.
Oh, no way.
And then me and the missus went to see Chicago on Broadway. And I was a bit like, I'm not a bit. I was going, this is great. This is actually fantastic. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's banging, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, actually, because it's weird, isn't it? Musicals, I think when you're a bit younger, you're like, oh, what's your musicals for? Yeah, you fucking shit. Who wants to go see it? But then as you get older, you're like, actually, I wouldn't mind a little dabble.
Oh, quite, yeah. You come out, you do come out feeling a bit dirty for liking it, though, don't you?
Maybe slightly. Yeah.
I didn't want to enjoy that. I'm coming out and I'm fucking singing now. Fuck.
Yeah. How's the tour been so far? I know you've been in a couple of shows, haven't you?
Yeah, we're only 2 shows in a minute. We did Bournemouth and London over the weekend. Amazing. Kicked the tour off so well. The crowds were sick. The shows were sold out. Everything was amazing. It was so good. I mean, all the shows apart from Cardiff now are sold out.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to get on it.
This weekend we got Manchester and we're doing Rock City in Nottingham.
Nice.
which is sold out, and that's it's nearly 2,000 capacity on the Nottingham one.
It is a big boy.
We are buzzing for that show, man.
I bet.
Sold out in Rock City. Like we are buzzing for that show.
Is it? I know, because obviously the songs aren't yours, but is it still amazing when people sing back to you?
Yeah, every night. We got our own videographer who's actually Cobb's missus, and she does all our filming and all our photos and everything. And she films every show, so we can. And then we always do the next day. We always do the roundup of the show from the night before and stuff. When we're watching the footage back, because we use in-ear monitoring.
Yeah,
we can't hear the crowd really.
Oh, okay.
And then you watch the videos back from the night before, and the crowds are fucking loud as hell, man. It's class. It's so good. I mean, obviously they know the words because everyone knows the songs we play, but it's banging. It's so good.
It's obviously you've got the tour for the new album in October. So has any tickets gone on sale for that yet?
Tickets are on sale for that now, yeah. So we got a UK tour in October. Well, it runs over October and November. We're doing it with Adam and the Metal Hawks, which are huge on TikTok. We love the fact that we're doing that. It's something we discussed many times about, rather than being the standard band and having your mate's band playing as support or whatever. We've talked so many times about having a band that are doing a sort of similar thing to us, or like influencer band or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, we love that idea. And Adam and the Metal Hawks, they're absolutely smashing it on TikTok and Instagram and stuff and all those socials, and they're amazing. They're sick. So they're coming over from the US to support us on the UK tour, And we also got Matt Stocks DJing as well. That guy's an absolute legend. Like, we love Matt. So yeah, it's going to be cool having him DJing between sets and stuff. That'll be wicked.
It's crazy because I've never heard of a DJ at a show. Do you know what I mean? Like in the middle of bands as well as an actual act. So I'm assuming they're just playing tracks and everyone's just loving it. I assume. I mean, Sean Smith, obviously former Blackout lead singer, should I say? Sorry, continue. I interrupted you there.
No, yeah. So yeah, no, it's fine. Sean's done it on this. Sean's doing it on this tour, and it's worked so well. Like, obviously, the kind of crowd that we attract. It basically just people our age that grew up listening to the same music as we did. So to have the support band come on and then Sean Smith go on stage and do a DJ set of like early 2000s bangers that everyone knows and loves. Like by the time we come on stage, everyone is absolutely pumped. Like, do you know what I mean? It is class. It's wicked. It's such a good idea.
Did you ever have to get permission for the songs that you've covered, that you've done? Shall I say?
Yeah, of sorts. Yeah, I mean, with every single song we release, we always obtain cover licenses. So through the distribution that we use, we don't have to get our hands dirty whatsoever. But we pay through the distribution that we use, so that any money that we make or any money that's coming in from these tracks, the original artists and the original writers get their cut before it even comes anywhere near us. So everyone's a winner, man.
Man, massive respect. Absolutely major respect. It's incredible. I love that shit's just taken off for you, because that TikTok algorithm is so weird. But trying to use it myself, I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't know if it's an age thing.
That's another thing we're super analytical about is trying to work out how the hell these things work. Like, yeah. So like if you go through our TikTok, for example, like you will see that we go through stages where we'll shoot some videos in a certain format, and then the next load of videos we'll shoot them in a different format, and then we'll change the way they're shot, and like we'll do different sections. So for example, we'll do Power Rangers, but for one TikTok video, we'll do one section of Power Rangers, and then another video, we'll do a different section. And we're constantly analyzing and constantly testing between what works and what do people prefer, and which videos do people prefer. Do they prefer looking at the four of us in one shot, or do they prefer looking at single cuts of each of us? Or like we are constantly changing and constantly sort of chasing, the numbers on that, because we'll get a video that's got 4 million views, and we're right, there we go. That's the format. And then we'll do a load of videos in that format, and then all of a sudden we're getting no views on them. So we switch it up. We haven't got the answers. We still haven't got the answers. We've been trying for years, but yeah, we're constantly testing and constantly changing and constantly trying to keep up with the ever-changing algorithm. Like,
yeah, it's mental, dudes. Like, I remember like talking to my niece and nephews. Like, what do you mean when you grow up? You go, YouTuber, Instagram influencer. Like, what are these careers?
I know, right? I know.
The world is so mental now. Like you say, social media is the way forward now. It's how people get noticed.
Yeah,
100%. Like nuts, absolutely nuts. Before I let you go, America Fuck Yeah cover is absolutely sensational. I didn't even realize you'd released it. I just happened to be scrolling and went, oh my fuck. Great movie straight away, fucking phenomenal. And you've done that song so much justice. It's absolutely wonderful.
Oh, yeah?
100%.
That's banging. Do you know what? That song, we put that song out because we were supposed to be touring America last year.
Yes.
And we recorded like a couple of American songs just to kind of go in line with promoting the tour and stuff like that. And that was one of them. And we were like, we got to do that. It'd be fucking brilliant. Like, we're going to go on tour in America. Fuck yeah. Like, oh, let's just do that. And do you know what? It didn't really get recognized that much when we put it out, because nothing really happened with it. But we love it. We think it's great. Like, we absolutely love that track.
Absolutely, and so you should, sir. And so you should. But obviously, with tours coming up, and obviously the new album out on the 31st of March, what is next for Punk Rock Factory? Any festivals that you could possibly talk about? Anything coming up?
Well, we got a couple of festivals confirmed and announced. We're doing Teddy Rocks in Dorset. We're doing Takedown, which is in Portsmouth. We're doing Belladrum up in Scotland. Is it Inverness? I think. We're doing a couple of European festivals as well. I think we're going to the Netherlands. We're going to Sweden.
Wow.
I think we're going somewhere random like Croatia or something like that.
Dude.
So yeah, we got a couple of festivals. There's a couple of things that may or may not get confirmed as well for the summer. We'll just have to kind of wait and see on that. We literally know as much as everyone else on stuff on some of the other ones at the minute, but we have got some other big stuff in the pipeline. Aside from the sort of festival side, more kind of international things. I'll leave that there.
You little jet setter. It's incredible though to go from a little town in Wales and you're now playing Sweden, Holland. You'll get to America eventually, I'm sure. Croatia, etc. It's absolutely phenomenal, man. It's so great to see you guys just go from strength to strength and just taking the world by storm. And I just wish you every success with it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome. Peej, is there anything you'd like to promote? Social medias, the album, for example, before you get out of here?
So, new album. It's just a stage we're going through is out. It's the 31st of March. It's a homage to stage and screen musicals. We got a new single out now, 28th of February, which is the third single off the new album. We're playing it in the set, so I suppose I can tell you what it is. It's Defying Gravity from Wicked. We've got a new video for it. The video is class. It's absolutely nothing to do with Wicked, but it is about defying gravity. So I'll let you think about that, and then you'll find out on the 28th what I actually mean. Also, obviously, we got a tour coming up in October and November, UK tour. There's loads of dates. We're all over the UK. So tickets are on sale for that now, and they're flying out really well. So if you want to come, get a ticket.
Absolutely, and I second everything you just said.
Thanks.
Peej, this has been absolutely phenomenal, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best with the release and with the tour.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.